Hello and welcome to another episode here on the podcast Talking Female Health with Amy and Lisa, which will be our last episode for now. Don't despair. We are thinking about how to, like, what's next, and we will let you know about that. But we have jointly decided, my lovely co host Amy Connor and me, Lisa Yara, that right now where we're at with life in general, with the collective, with our businesses, we need some space for ourselves and will not be able to continue this podcast right now. We have thoroughly enjoyed recording all the episodes and meeting on a regular basis. And I know from many of you that you've enjoyed listening and that it was valuable information. Not just information, also just like personal connection. And we are so grateful that you've been with us on this journey that has been going on about a year now. So we're closing our year, a year-long experiment with a last episode on. Well, I think it's fair to say that Talking Health with Amy and Lisa will cease. And if we come back, that will be with a different name and branding.
Yeah.
Amy, thank you so much for having been with me, having done this all those months ago. You've brought in great ideas for episodes. I know that what I cherish and appreciate about you is that you really see where people are at and where we need to, like, which topics we can address in the day-to-day life that are still related to female health, but in this wider scope to remind us maybe also like how deep and how wide this is spread, the topic of health, and everything falls into that. So yeah, thank you for this journey. And thank you as the listener or watcher for having gone on this journey. Before we dive into our individual reasons, Amy, would you like to share a few words, address the people?
Yeah, I mean, I have really enjoyed this experience and I've loved working alongside you. And as I said earlier to you, I've learned so much from you. So thank you for that. And yeah, I know that a lot of people have shared that the topics of conversation have started conversations within their own circles and their own connections, which is very much what our intention was to start conversations. So that is wonderful. And the great thing about having it as a podcast is even though we're stopping this particular podcast, the episodes are available for you to dive into at any time if you feel that you need to or to share with others. So please do that. And yeah, this isn't the final goodbye from Lisa and I for sure. We're definitely going to be coming back and pairing up along the way in the future. And I really look forward to that. So, yeah.
Thank you. For myself, one of the reasons, and I think when we met recently and talked about possibly changing things around a bit here on the podcast, we were already both feeling that there was some kind of breakup happening, not as in our relationship, but just with the podcast. And I'm grateful that you made it clear, even though it was subconsciously obvious. And for me personally, I am at a place where I am going to start a part-time job just to help me finance myself. And I will be navigating running and growing my business while being employed and having a boss again. And yeah, I don't know what that will bring, and I want to give myself the space and time to settle into that and learn how to live with both of these realities. So that is my main reason for why I need to step back. Amy, how about you?
Yeah, I'm really excited for your next chapter, Lisa. I know that it's going to be a good one for you. So, yeah, for me, um, there's lots of change happening in my life, which is a good thing. I've recently moved from seeing clients solely online to in person, which has been a really big move for me, but a really fun one. And I'm really, really excited by it, but still navigating the new waters and the growth in my business. So I'm being kind to myself as that happens and just making sure that I have enough of myself to give to my clients, and not just my clients, but other people that I love, and also for myself as well, to make sure that I've got enough space for me. And on a personal level, I am navigating some tricky family situations that are needing me to step into my boundaries more and create stronger boundaries, reinforce stronger boundaries, which, as we've talked about, is hard work. I know that the results are going to be rewarding, and what needs to happen, but in this transition period, I know that it's taking a lot from me, and I just needed to create some more space, so to speak, so that I can look after myself, my family, and my business as best as I can. So that's my reasons for putting an end to this particular adventure.
Funny how I didn't think of that before, but it just occurred to me that autumn equinox is right around the corner. And the equinoxes are all about balance. And like looking at what's in balance, what's out of balance, what needs to happen to shift back to a certain balance, keeping in mind that balance is not like a static, rigid state, but
Yep.
always a little bit of, there's always wiggle room and such. That's okay. And especially here where we live in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going into the autumn equinox, which is balance, while knowing that we will be going deep down inwards into ourselves, which means we need to cut ties outside that are pulling our energies away from like ourselves and connection to ourselves in this deep dark period. That is, as in a time period similar to menstruation, is similar to dark moon, is this inward energy of coming back to yourself, who you are, what you're here for, taking time to reflect on that. And so as a little not to do, but an invitation for you as the listener or watcher, whether you are listening or watching this right now, or whether that's in a year's time or at a different time of year, it's always a good place, always a good moment to sit down and reflect on where you're at in your life, what feels like it's in balance like you wanted, what is out of balance and not like you wanted, and then allow things to reveal themselves to you of what needs to happen to bring more of what you want into your life. So maybe take a few moments today or next week. This is always a time frame. It's not just one moment in time to think about what are the boundaries that you might need to set, or the ties that you might need to cut. And as Amy said, we have had some episodes around that where we talked about how you can make that happen, why it's important, and also that it's maybe a good thing to outgrow certain relationships.
Yeah, we are evolving all the time, and it's natural, and it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Yeah.
And since this is the time where we start wrapping up the year, autumn into winter, this is for us actually a perfect time to allow this podcast to die down and be composted. Like literally as in recycling, as in you can still watch these, we can still refer to these, because our episodes and everything, all the information we shared, it's still valid, it's still great information and very helpful. So like Amy said, please share the love and share our episodes if you find them valuable and helpful. And also letting everything die down and compost, and just wait until it is revealed what's next. So we don't know what's next yet. But until we know, it might be a podcast under a different name, under a different brand, with a different outlook. We don't know yet. But until then, Amy and I are for sure staying connected, and we will be guests on each other's podcasts, because each of us has an individual podcast already. And we will leave the links to those below, so you can dive into all of those good episodes. Amy, yours is the Vagina Truth Bomb, if I'm not much mistaken.
It is, that's right, yeah.
And mine is the Womb Whispers podcast. And of course, we will also leave you links to Amy's and my website, so that you can, and our respective email lists, so that you can stay in touch with us and be the first to be informed when something new emerges and we know what's next.
Yeah.
Amy, is there anything that you want to add?
I just want to finish by saying how much I've enjoyed it, and that I really hope that the podcast goes on to meet new people, even though it has been, like you said, recycled. I think that's a really beautiful thing. And also to say that if anybody needs any extra support or guidance or advice or anything in the topics, that Lisa and I are always available for communication. So as Lisa said, all of the details will be in the show notes. So don't be shy in reaching out. And yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy lives to connect with us and listen to these episodes, and sending you all lots of love.
My last words will be, we try to walk the talk and lead by example. That is why we are closing this down right now. So take the example, and if there's something in your life, don't be afraid to allow things to rest for a while and compost for a while. Like I often say, also healing is cyclical, which means that you can't be constantly healing and working on yourself. It's okay to rest every once in a while and just let things unfold as they want to.
Absolutely.
If you need assistance with that, Amy and I will be glad to support you in that. Then I wish all of you a beautiful day and send much love.
Bye.
Bye.